This thing always is such a delay. That's why I can't even tell if are we live?
Mhm.
We are live. Okay, thank you. Hey everybody. This is the Unpopular Review NXT review show. NXT went off the air. We're here to give our thoughts about NXT. We look forward to talking to you guys in the chat. But before we go any further, before we do the intro and all that stuff, please subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I don't even think they call it Twitter anymore. The X thing. And on Twitch. And we're going to give our thoughts right after this lovely and very quick, I believe I passed it. Where is it? Intro. So here's the intro. Give me a minute before we could take that down. I always say I gotta fix my computer because it runs slow. But guys, like I said in the intro, did this thing not it did go down. Did it just change the background? That is hilarious. This thing just totally changed the background.
From last Wednesday, apparently.
I know we're on Dynamite. We're reviewing Dynamite. Can't wait to review Dynamite with you. We're gonna talk about there we go. We changed it. Oh, you changed the thing. Thank you.
You're good.
I know you did it fantastic. But you guys are watching Tuesday night. We're here to talk NXT. There was a lot of things that happened tonight. We opened up with a steel cage match. We also had a fatal 4-way for the women's championship. So we're gonna break down all these different matches and stuff like that. I look forward to it. It's been a while. Wrestling doll. You know, last week I had to work with the executive consultant, so that was definitely negative 2 points for you.
You know about Dakara Jackson for half that time?
I had just deleted the picture off. Listen, beautiful girl, but when there's nothing but saliva on the floor, I just think that is not good, and I think that is disgusting. But Wrestling Doll, why don't you tell the lovely people? Don't you tell the chat how are you as I do these shares? So why don't you tell them how are you and what did you think about tonight's show?
Well, I've been stuck working nights for the last couple of Tuesdays, so that's why I unfortunately haven't been able to be here, but I am here now, so I am ready to talk some wrestling, and I am looking forward to some of the wrestling I'm going to see next weekend.
Ooh, you're going to be watching some wrestling. So why don't we break down? I thought this thing was already get this link, but why don't we break this down? We opened up with a steel cage match. I thought this was a great way to open up the show, right? Steel cage match.
The Creed Brothers versus the Schism's dyad.
Woo!
That if the Creed Brothers win, they are reinstated back into NXT, and if they lost, well, they unfortunately were going to stay out of there forever, and poor Ivy was going to keep getting tortured by the Schism. Thank God that didn't happen.
Thank God that didn't happen. Why don't we talk about this? Like I said, it was a great opener. You had the Creed Brothers. You have Schism. They have the Schism mates.
They have their scheming Schism.
The scheming. Oh, I thought I was going to call them the Schismate, which sounds horrible, by the way. So let's not let that.
Schism scheme, which was to, as Brutus was walking in to go into said steel cage, he unfortunately was dragged out and beaten down by their followers that weren't in the audience. So it turned into a 2-on-1 handicap match for a good portion of that night. But that match alone, if people say that Julius cannot wrestle or can't handle his own, they wrong. And this match alone showed you, like, he flipped them over, brought them down onto the ground. He held one of them like in his right here like this, and then DDT the other one and brought him down. I was like, I know that people say like they're a good tag team, but if they ever do break off for some reason, Julius is going to be the single star, and unfortunately Brutus would get left in the shadows. But for Brutus's sake, I really hope they don't do that because they're a good match together.
I wanted to break down the match real quick. Like you mentioned, Brutus was taken out of the match early. I love Julius in the ring by himself. So my only concern is, and I see the potential in Julius, right? I see it. Everyone talks about he's the single star. I see it. The man's a star. But I said, man, that would make the dyad look so bad if he just took these two out by himself. Personally, I like Bruce a little bit more, and it showed a little bit in this match, and I was glad that he got some shine. Julius showed how great he is. I mean, he was in the ring by himself. There was this really cool spot where he did like a moonsault and then double clothesline these two guys. So the first half, he's holding his own, but the dyad is taking advantage. Brutus start throwing people. So when he comes out here and he throws, I like that kind of stuff. I thought he did I mark out when seeing Brutus just throws people. I just want to see him lift up a car and throw somebody, just throw it, not somebody in it. That would be really horrific. I don't want to see that. But
you do a Stone Cold Steve Austin and drop a car on another car and make it explode.
Yeah, that would be. I'm for that. Actually, absolutely. That could be in the next Fast movie. Brutus could be the villain in the next Fast and Furious. I would love for that. I'm hoping for that now. Now we need Brutus to battle Dom Toretto, and we can finally end this nightmare once and for all.
So
but
20 movies, I'll be fine. Because 10's enough.
That's all they're up to is 10. I swore they were up to 15, but
you would think.
But I like this match because I feel like everyone got a chance to shine. So you saw how good the dyad is too as well. The dyad was able to, I just felt like it was a reminder on how good of a team they are, because I feel like a lot of times they're forgotten. They're just like bodies that just get beat up. But
they're showing the people what they're made of before they leave, because their contract's expiring in literally less than 2 months.
Right. So that, and they're getting some shine. So the contracts are coming up. But you are also too, like I mentioned, Brutus getting in there, ripping the cage apart. That big Brutus bomb. Once again, I see why Julius is the star. He held both these dudes like this, where Brutus hit a double Brutus bomb, wrecked these dudes with the, I don't know if they have a name for these clotheslines, but we'll just call them the Creed line. I like that Creed line. Jeffrey, 5 points for me. That was incredible. We're going to talk about points later on, actually, too, because we're going to talk about, thank you, 5, put that up. See, I got the hair. I could do like Booker T. I could do that. See, there we go. He gets they get the win from the Creed line, and they are back. So, it's funny because when the Creed brothers lost, everyone said, "Oh man, they're gonna go to the main roster," which I thought as well. But I think them still remaining in NXT, even though I just don't feel like there's anything left for them to do in NXT. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with them still remaining on NXT. What about you? Have any other thoughts you want to add before we go to the next segment?
No, I'm perfectly fine with them being in NXT too right now. I mean, they have more that they could do over there. They don't have to go up to the main roster right now.
I guess I figured that they were going up because once they lose, a lot of times when you have a losers leave match,
loser leaves to the main roster.
Yep, and that wasn't the case with this, but pretty cool. We got a Roxanne Perez promo. She said a while ago she was talking about the old Roxanne Perez. She's a whole new Roxanne. She's a badass Roxanne Perez. She said, a while back, I would have said I had a lot of respect for the other women and how, this woman, I'm proud of Gigi for standing up for herself. And who else was in this match? Devlin, Blair talking about the match that they had. And not Kiana, almost like Kiana. I mix up. There's a lot of K's going on here. But she said, I don't give a damn. Thank you. That's why you see the executive consultant left me last week.
He probably had either left you hanging or probably made fun of you for it. I wasn't able to watch since I was working during that time, so that's my only guess.
No, well, I honestly have chronic back problems just for carrying him last week. But I'm healing slowly. I'm feeling better. Even with an injury, I'm going to be here on NXT. Same thing with the Wrestling Doll. That's what we do. We sit here and entertain you, and you guys make a mockery of my my vernacular. But she talks about, I don't give a damn of hearing about that. She's tired of hearing about she has a promising career and how she's going to have a long career. She says she wants that time now. She's going to have this time now. Roxanne Perez was showing some fire. She was cussing a little too much for me because sweet Roxanne. I had to look up how old she is, but she's old enough to cuss. But yeah, Roxanne Perez.
Old enough to cuss, so.
Who?
Most of them are old enough to swear.
I don't know, Roxanne. I feel like she's 16. I don't know. I
hearing her. She looks young, but You still can get away with it if you're old enough.
I started cussing at 4. I shouldn't brag about that. That's not good.
I started at around like 12.
Oh, okay. There we go. There we go.
Only
That's usually
people saying it and then I repeated it.
That's usually how it starts. So yeah, people. We have Jay in there. We got BB should have been the Money in the Bank winner already. I feel like that is Jay representing Braun Breaker. Is that the Braun Breaker guy?
Yes.
That is the Braun
Breaker reading through the chat, so I already know it's him.
Gigi's annoying. Wow, this J. You know what it is? It's usually JL, but he has a bunch of other letters after the L. I was thrown off by this. We get a segment with Don and Stacks. They're talking about them being tag champs. We got Mello coming up. So you got all three champions out here. But then we get a nice cameo by the Street Profits.
The Profits were up.
And we want I don't have any smoke right now. I kind of use it on Saturday.
I don't have any red solo cups, so I can't do it. I might be wearing red, but I don't got no red solo cups.
I have a solo cup somewhere. I'm looking on the floor. That just goes to tell you I usually have a lot of utensils on the ground. You just never know. But they have a segment, and the Street Profits mentioned to Mello, like they were mentioning something. I guess they were going to try to get to the point of Trick, right? To which Mello cut that short and just said, I gotta go handle some business. So he leaves. So then the Street Profit has a conversation with Don and Stacks. Do you think we're gonna get a match between the Street Profits and Don Stacks?
Absolutely. And I want to see that.
Ooh. Okay.
Listen, the Profits were a dominant tag team in NXT. They were a pretty good tag team over in the main roster. Mm-hmm. And the only last time we've seen them do really good with tag team matches has been with the Usos. So I want to see them go against Stacks and Loren and Tony D and see how they can go at it with them.
See, I always forget Stacks has a first name. I gotta sit here and say I always say Stacks because
Stacks Lorenzo.
Isn't it Channing? Channing,
yeah, like Channing Tatum.
I know Channing Tatum because he was in that X-Men movie. And that other movie, was it Dirty Mike or Magic Mike?
Magic Mike.
Oh. I don't think there was anything magical about it. I just wanted to throw my
magical if you're a sexually active middle-aged woman.
Is that why Jada Pinkett Smith was in that movie?
No.
Oh, okay. I have no idea. Okay, fair enough. We got good to see them back in NXT. Welcome back home. We got Jeffrey in the chat saying the Street Profits versus Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. I'm there for it. I'm sorry. I read that all wrong. That was from George. We also got George. After Payback, Becky Lynch is going into a program with Tiffany Stratton. It's interesting. Stacks isn't connecting with anyone. What makes you say that, Jay? Why would you say that?
Jay's a hater. Jay's a hater.
I love it. Jay's a hater. Well, I'll be damned.
Listen,
Tony's the only one.
In little teams like this.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I know there's teams that people have that want to people pay more attention to. The reason why, besides the fact that Tony D got snitched on and was sent off for a few months, was so that Stacks could connect to the people. And he has. He's connected so good with the people as the face.
Mm-hmm.
People who knew him before he got into WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Such a great heel. And if they ever do more heel work as the family, people are going to see just how good he is.
There we go. Which led into because late in the match you're going to have Kelani, Dana Brooke against Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez. These girls are fighting, and you see the Street Profits sitting there and go "Wow, NXT is totally different." Yeah, it is totally. Well, actually, no, I can't say that because
Becky even when in terms of the style of how everything is set up, the people they have, of course, naturally.
Right. No, not
more different training they have. It's
a
little different.
Not that part. First, I was going to sit here and say, right, because back in the day, the NXT parking lot was safe, but that's not true. I forget my name. Yeah, no, I think before 2015, it was safe. I think around 2015, it started to become a hazard because that's where Hideo Itami. We never found out who injured Hideo Itami, did we, guys? No, we didn't. Let's talk about this. We have the globe. Oh my God, We have the Global Heritage Invitational. This thing is broken up into two different groups. So it's supposed to be like the New Japan G1 climate kind of match. So in Group A, I have different notes here. So you have to check me out. In Group A, we have Butch, Charlie Dempsey, Tyler Bate, and Axiom. In Group B, we have Nathan Frazier, Joe Coffey, what's that? Tazawa. I'm sorry, I had to make sure I got this. Tazawa and Duke Hudson.
Tazawa.
Thank you. I could not pronounce that at all. I just wanted to, but it's going to be this is how the match is going to break down. So I have all these different notes elsewhere. How does this match break down? So to break it down, the winner of Group A will face the winner of Group B on. Okay, so I'm pretty much. There was a whole bunch of other stuff that I have, but this match, the way how these rules go is 12 minutes. These guys got 12 minutes to put on a match. If you get a pinfall, I believe it's 1 point. Submission is 2 points. And if you get a draw or something like that, or a disqualification, I thought I had the rules on me. I apologize. I thought I was totally prepared, and I was not. But the first match, let's talk about it. We have Charles Dempsey against Butch, with the metaphor of watching it up close. Like I said, the winner of this tournament, they have a match at No Mercy on September 30th. I actually enjoyed this match between Charles Dempsey and Butch. This is the kind of match for me. I said if they gave him a little bit more time, I think these guys would really cook. And I just like the style. I feel like it was just they were filling each other out. They're trying to figure out who's the better technician between the two. Charles Dempsey is someone who, and Butch is no old guy. I mean, I think he's still in his 20s, right? But I feel like he's definitely been around longer than Charles Dempsey. And I thought these guys put on a really fun match. And I said, man, I wanted more. I really wanted more. So, there was a really good German in here by Dempsey. I liked how Butch countered it with an armbar. It was almost like, screw your German. And but at the end, Butch gets the win with the bitter end. It's great to see the bitter end is a fantastic move. And that was my thoughts. Butch wins. I believe he gets 2 points. Wrestling Doll, we're going to give you 7 points. What did you think about this match?
Well, first of all, they don't call that man the Bruiserweight for no reason. So the fact they got 2 points, like, that's obvious. Mm-hmm. The fact that there was the Bruiserweight chance involved made me happy. Like, maybe there's a possibility they could revert back to him going by Pete Dunne. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm always going to keep putting that out there. Charlie Dempsey is not a bad talent. I'm never going to sit down and be like, oh, Charlie Dempsey can't wrestle. He's just a second generation, yada, yada, yada. But he can go, but I am a bigger Pete Dunne Butch fan, so I was rooting for him, of course. And like Jeffrey said in the chat just now, Pete Dunne is 29. Debuted in 2007 as a wrestler, so he has been doing this for...
We need to start calling you the Wrestling Doll to the Wrestling Encyclopedia. Whoa, that was really good. EC, eat shit, because that was fantastic, Wrestling Doll. Good job. I just wanted to get my bash EC thing out the way. So I'm done for the night, guys. I won't be bashing EC. Mike, watch your back, though. The show is still young.
No, but I might. I haven't had a chance to, depending what might be said.
Well, I think we can start this new segment. It's called Bashing People with Jack. He was very rude to me these last 2 streams. EC said something, and here's Mike when he says, okay, Ron. That's my shoot name, guys. Okay, Ron. And he said, I'm not Ron because I'm tall. So I said, okay, gotcha. And then yesterday he did He did a fantastic job. You guys should check it out. Mike Knox, it's fantastic. He did a tribute to Bray Wyatt. Everyone's still reeling from that. They had a tribute. I wanted to sit here and say who left the onions out because I wanted to cry. It's definitely, everyone's still reeling from it. And I felt called out on his show, and I don't like that. And I'm not a fan of being called out. But let's keep moving forward. We see in the chat, George sit there and gave you 5,000 points. George, I'm going to say it right now to you. You're not the scorekeeper. That's Jeffrey's role. So stop stealing people's jobs. Rude. We got Jay in the chat. He's sitting here and says, pity party. It's my party. It's my party, and I cry if I want to. We got
it's
also
not your party, so we don't have to feel pity for you.
yeah, Jay or Jay Breaker. That's his new name. We're gonna call him Jay Breaker. Breaker Jay. That's his new name. Shout out to the nickname. We had a segment with Ali and Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee, he was talking about beating Dirty Dom last week at NXT Heatwave, and talking about how Dom is nothing without Rhea.
He isn't.
Oh,
he can never win without Rhea and or anybody in the Judgment Day.
I just got a call from the executive consultant sitting there saying you're going to be suspended next week. Oh my God!
I'm so scared. I'm getting suspended because I'm not siding with the bratty little child. Boo-hoo! You're only siding with the bratty little child because that ain't your child. If that were your child, their ass would get a spanking.
I don't think so. The executive consultant would do what Tony Khan is doing, nothing.
Woo! My fault. He wants to be a kiss ass to Dominic Mysterio for the first time, and actually side with Rhea Ripley for the first time ever in his career that he will never openly admit to because of the fact that she called him a peasant.
I love this.
I will always bring that up. It's so funny.
I love Breaker J in the chat. He said, "Too much heat on me. What did I do to deserve this? I just want to enjoy the show."
You want to enjoy the show, and then you say stupid stuff that makes me say shit to you. So
hold on. You know what, Jay? He could be reformed. Listen, Jay, I can help you. This is what I'm going to tell you. Join the Jetpack community. Yeah, I welcome everybody. It's people accept the bald-headed community. I need to ask Jay, do you have a head full of hair? Because if you don't have any hair, I can't allow that.
Syndicate.
And I can't let that be.
I don't qualify, so I am good.
You are fantastic. You have a head full of hair, like the executive consultant. We have a lot of bald people in our cast. We should fix that.
Technically, we have 3 baldies, so
that's too much.
So does that mean all of them are part of the bald syndicate?
Yes. With wait, who was the 3? Is EC Mike? Who's the other one?
Willie?
No, he actually has hair. You know what it is? You just don't see him, so you can't tell. That's all. I get it. I think he had that one segment. All he did was spit. I think that's the only thing people got out of that segment. But Mustafa Ali and Dragon Lee, they're gonna have a match next week to determine the number 1 contender for Dirty Dom's title. And
Dirty Dom is going to be the special guest referee, which we all know that's going to go to shit.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be interesting to see.
It's gonna be like Dean Ambrose being the guest referee for AJ Styles versus James Ellsworth all over again.
I remember that 2016, and James Ellsworth.
Like AJ Lee being the guest ref. I can't.
Oh my God. They should bring back that feature in the 2K games. It used to be really ridiculous. I think one time I played it in one of those like earlier 2K games, and I tried to screw someone, and they just fired me. They told me get out the ring. And then I was replaced. I said, what? So, yeah, they should bring that back. I just wanted to mention that because that was such a fun feature. I should just rob people on purpose.
Well, they got plenty more to figure out what to do with 2K24. And I already have a feeling who they should put on for the cover.
Yeah, me too. Who you got?
I would say Bray Wyatt.
Ooh.
As a tribute.
That would be nice.
Plus, he is one of the most creative minds that they've had in the last several years. So,
if they don't put him on the... If they don't put him...
I would put Bray Wyatt over Cody.
If you don't put him on the cover, I think his the story thing that they do, like like the matches and stuff, I think that would be actually really a cool feature. Like if you go through some of
the matches he's
showcase,
had, there were a couple that were like forget that you want to forget, but
yeah, absolutely. We got Jay. He told us also he's 19. He's a young man. He said, I hope I'm not losing I hope not too, my friend. I spoke to Truth about Finn, and she got in her Finn. Oh, you talking to the wrong. Oh my God, the other one would have.
Listen. I'm a Finn Balor fan. You're just lucky that Captain Shay Sawyer is not here to rip you to shreds about anything you say about Finn Balor.
I get yelled at because I mention all the time how he gets dominated, and but I get yelled at. We got 2016 was a good year for SmackDown. I agree. 2016 was kind of a fun year anyway. I used to rob people too, Jack. Absolutely. That's what the whole special ref was for about. We got Breaker. So I guess JL is saying he would like Braun Breaker on there. I think it's too soon, but
it's way too soon. He's had a good run, but it's too soon. maybe like 7 to 10 years in the future, he could be on the cover of the game, but not right now. It is way too soon.
Mm-hmm. We got because Jeffrey's agreeing with you, said Braun isn't ready for that spot. Not yet. I mean, give it time. I mean, he's still young. Give it time. The Bray Wyatt showcase on WWE 2K24 would be, I think it would be fantastic. And
maybe
even though
Husky Harris to the Fiend,
especially oh, you know what I would do?
from
This
Husky
is what I would
Harris to the Eater of Worlds /
do. Do you know who the Fiend's? Do you know who the Fiend's first opponent was when he became the Fiend?
Finn Balor.
I would play that, record the match, and then
send it to Captain Shay.
No, I'm not stupid. No, I would just play it right here because I don't no.
You live streaming on Twitch?
Yes, I would do that and then post it right here for you guys to see while I beat him up for you guys. And I'll blame Jeffrey for it because I'll say it was Jeffrey's idea. We had Dragon on. He comes out here. You know, he's dressed up and sweating. Just sweating. I don't understand. Florida just seems so hot. So when I see these guys,
it's really hot right now.
I believe
it's really hot right now. And sometimes in that place, it is chilly, but sometimes with all the people in there, it's really hot.
You know what it is? I believe it was, and I saw Jeffrey's tweet, or I don't know, his ex. I don't know because they don't call it Twitter anymore, right? But he mentioned, and I think it was Dragon on because he had a turtleneck. And I remember him saying he must be hot. And I remember thinking, hell yeah, he should be hot. Why would you wear? But I know
with a turtleneck in the performance center with all those people in there, it's gonna be hot as hell.
But he came out there. The man looked fly. He gave Trick his props, which what that match was all about last week, about letting Trick showing that Trick can. And we're gonna talk about Trick a little bit later because there was a segment with him and Mello.
Trick was showing how he can whoop that Trick, not just saying it.
Oh yeah.
And they really need to make that into a T-shirt and sell it.
They were saying yesterday on Raw I didn't watch Raw. I fell asleep. I was very tired. But they were saying in Memphis yesterday, that was the thing that they were saying. I guess that's the thing they do in Memphis. But he gives him his props. He wants his rematch with Carmelo. Noam Dar is still out there with the metaphor. He's dragging now. He's calling him all kinds of names. He's disrespecting them. Oro calls him something in German. It was very disrespectful. And the only reason we knew it was German because Dragunov says, name calling in German, huh? And Dragunov's tired of this. He's getting ready to take off the blazer, go up to the where they have their lounge at. And Noam Dar is so great. He's like, no! He's like, no. Let's not do this because I don't want to mess up my lounge. And he says, I'll make a proposal next week. Let's have a match. Dragunov's for it. Oro goes down there, and Oro's my guy. What does Booker T say? My main man, Oro. That's what Booker T always said.
Calls him main event Mensa.
He called him main event. All right, let me go. Main event Mensa. See, if Booker T's calling you that, he's telling the truth. Because Mensa is fantastic. One day he will have his time in the sun. Because that man is too talented right now to just be as a player 2 character. The Luigi. Mensa is fantastic. I wanted to take a moment to just brag about this guy because this guy is great. Yes, I just wanted to point that out. He's great. But he gets beat up by Dragunov, which of course is going to happen because Dragunov just likes to fight. But I sit here and say, if you like to fight so much, Dragunov, you should just go into the NXT parking lot. It would be much safer. But no, I want to go in the ring and beat up.
The last time he was in that parking lot, he got beaten up by Dijak and then got dragged off and then beat up more in a private room.
Oh, so what you mean to tell me is that this man learned his lesson. So he's not as tough as he think he is because he got beat up by Batman.
But he beat him eventually.
We don't talk about that. We don't do that. But what we're going to do is keep moving on. Let's go into a segment, and then we'll have a commercial. We'll play a commercial because I want to play a commercial. We don't do that as often. We try to just shoot right through the show and everything. I want to sit here and say once again, guys, you guys are watching Unpopular View, the NXT review show. Great Grand Poobah, the Delia Dark, Rustling Dog. Did I say that right? Did I get that correct? Dahlia. There we go. I was close. I just knew it began with a D and an A. But you guys are watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Follow us all on all these social medias. We gotta add these. These things are so outdated. Like the Twitter thing is a bird. I think the bird is dead.
Yeah, that's why. The X is there now, and that's why the bird is dead because it got replaced with this.
X gonna give it to you.
There is the bird being squished down. That's what that is.
We didn't mean to make it so graphic, but that's happening. We got Charmaine in the chat who's outrageously rude to me all the time. She says, "Can I have that hat?" And then she says, "Barbara, you can be my captain." Wow. What about me? What can I be, Charmaine? Charmaine's probably sitting there watching on her phone, laughing at me, thinking she made her funny. I don't think you're funny, Charmaine. I think you're just not nice. And we don't like nice people here. Jeffrey, -5 points for Charmaine, please. Thank you. That's what we do. We give and take points away. Von Wagner, the fantastic Von Wagner, as you guys can hear the bass in my voice.
The Von is the Vons.
Thank you. See, we're getting that over. Jeffrey, get that hashtag. The Vons of the Vons. Please put that in there.
Hashtag Von breaking brawn.
Okay, no, George, Jeffrey, don't take away the points from her. She said she loves me. No, Charmaine is fantastic. No, I can't do that. No, don't take away no points. Okay, we already took away your points. Sorry, Charmaine. Matter of fact, another 5.
Back later, worry not.
Matter of fact, take another because she interrupted me. But Von Wagner, he sits there. He's in an interview. Now everyone tries to make fun of Von Wagner and, oh, he can't talk. But Von Wagner got on that mic. He made eye contact and he said, "Braun, you know, you walk around, you call yourself badass Braun. But I'm going to call you blindside Braun." I said, "That's great. That's fantastic. High five. Bong." And he said, he said, "You're mad." He said, "I'm mad too." He said, "I know why you're mad, because your ass got tabled." And his ass did go through a table. I saw where the ass went. So he says, "Come Tuesday." He said it. He said the thing. And I said, "Go ahead, Von. And Von says this. And he says, next week is going to be a no DQ match. Braun Breaker, he got you fooled. You think you have him on the ropes, but Von has you on the ropes. And he also got you through a table. And it's a reserve for one. Von Wagner has fooled and duped Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is about to be dominated. And I hate to report that next week when I sit here live Tuesday after NXT go up the air, and I sit here and go, Von Wagner is on through the roof, baby. And I promise, this is me at my sober. You don't want to see me when I have a fireball on me. But boom, Von Wagner has duped Braun Breaker. He called him blindside Braun. I thought that was fantastic. Voters of the Braun.
And I gotta say this to Braun. Just because you call yourself a badass doesn't mean you're a badass.
That's true. There we go. Look at that. The Vons of the Vons. We got that going. Von, the greatest Wagner. See, look at that. You guys are becoming believers. I think it's time. Where's this clip? Here we go. And then we're going to do a commercial. Let me show you why Von is great.
Your love for that clip. You're muted.
Muted. Okay. No, I'm not muted anymore.
Now you're not.
No. All right, guys. You know what? We're having some fun here. We hope you guys are having fun. We're going to break down the other half of NXT. We're going to play a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after this commercial.
And super thick, super pretty, body T. He get money. Yeah, Weston. Of course, I'm cheering for West. Duh.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you was trying to do a crime time rap. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I don't even know how to follow up with after that.
We have Dusty again. Amazing Race. Know nothing about him. He's cute. So there's that. So root for you. Cool. He just seems like he's chilling. Just from seeing some of his he had some videos they posted on the Instagram, and he seems a little bit like he might be on the Paulie tip. So we'll see.
I just think he's Dusty. Who's this? Are you a cleaning product, Dusty? Are you a radio, Dusty? I need to know more. What's your Wikipedia? I need to know everything about you now. Because
he's dusty because he's dusting these hoes. That's why, okay? I hope
thought you was so funny with that one, didn't you?
Ate. No, I definitely ate.
Me too. Fantastic. I always have this delay because my computer is slow. But you guys, that was a clip from the challenge. That was episode 1. I wanted to share that because if you guys like the challenge, you can watch that on Thursdays, right after it goes up the air. I think it's at 11. And honestly, she thinks she's so funny. George. No, not George. No, matter of fact, George. Yeah. No, Jeffrey's the point keeper. George. I want you to keep a line of all my lines. If anyone use it, we're suing. All right. I want that to be good. George is going to be my lawyer. He's my new lawyer. I'm giving people jobs in this chat. I just can't be here for free. What was we talking about? Oh, NXT. We have Kiana Jordan and Dana Brooke, the dynamic duel against Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez. So this is what I just want to say real quick, right? I didn't realize the crowd loved Lola Vice so much. Maybe there's other matches and they were saying it and I just didn't acknowledge it, right? But this match, I really noted it and I was like, wow, they really like Lola Vice. Fantastic. This match didn't do it for me. I felt like this was one of the weaker matches. I mean, these women did work hard. I don't want to take anything away from them. These women went out there, they busted their ass. But the baby faces lose. Dana is starting to lose her mind. And I even heard someone mention they were booing Dana Brooke. That's why I said for me, I personally think they should just turn her heel. I think a heel run would probably be better because I just don't see the babyface stuff working. She works hard. She goes out there. She does what she has to do. But I just don't. The babyface stuff is just not hitting. Especially when you have, like, if they're booing me, I'm eating that shit up. I'm like, oh, boo me? Oh, okay. I just think that I don't know. I just think that a heel turn, and I mean, it looks like that's just going to happen, and I don't know how long, but it's a slow burn that she's going to be turning heel. What do you think about this wrestling doll?
Well, for Kelani and Dana, I had a feeling that those two were going to lose, with especially how over people are for Lola Vice, mainly of the two. I mean, people have been into her since before she officially debuted on Level Up and NXT. I mean, with all the articles they put out with her being the first Cuban wrestler to join the company and all that fun stuff. And when I saw it, I was like, yay, more of my people representation. Let's go. But I like watching Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez as a team. I feel like Elektra's doing what she needs to do and helping make Lola look good and helping her move up a bit. And I feel like Dana Brooke is like Cody Rhodes in his last run before he left the company when people were booing the absolute shit out of him, but he still refused to turn heel. And I feel like that's what she's doing right now. But at some point, she's going to pull a Christian Cage to Jungle Boy and turn on Kelani. And then we're going to have a few with them two going on.
I'm not going to lie.
Kelani's finally going to beat somebody. And her name will be Dana Brooke. And Dana Brooke will go back to being a jobber again.
Yeah, I can see her definitely beating Dana Brooke. That would be a big win up to that point. You beat someone on the main roster.
Well, technically right now NXT is her home, so.
Who?
Dana Brooke. They put it on the website and everything. So it's official.
Oh, so she's not on Raw anymore?
I guess not.
Honestly, I will sit here and say this. I think her being on NXT is a better fit for her.
If she could play on the fact that the people are been against her since day one and just turn.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And then maybe she could get liked even as a heel like Mandy did.
Oh, you mean like form her own group?
I wouldn't say form her own group, but maybe take advantage of the fact that the people will like you once you're a heel.
Well, it depends. It depends on if she could deliver. You know, like there's a lot of heels where they were heels and people cheered because they were able to deliver in a way where they were like, you know, it was captivating. I don't know if she could do that. I just think
I'm not saying like that's gonna be like the end. Yeah. She's gonna be like the number one dominant heel.
No.
But I just feel like
no, she wouldn't.
I don't know if her being a mentor like that is like helping her too much in that sense.
She wouldn't be number one because there's other women ahead of her. She would be a great mid card. You know, someone who can help in that mid card. Not everyone needs to be number one or in that top position, but she could be a nice solid mid card, almost like a gatekeeper in a way.
She is the gatekeeper.
Yeah. But I'm just saying keep her. I think they would keep her as a mid card. Matter of fact, you know, just get into the chat real quick. Because Jeffrey just said something, and I agree. She should stay, and that's a perfect fit. That's how I feel about Ali. Ali, I think, is super talented, but he gets lost in the shuffle easily on the main roster. I mean, he had that great match with Gunther, and I think 2 weeks later he was on NXT, right? Or maybe a week later, right? And I sit there and I say that to say he had that great match with Gunther, but then what was going to happen after? Oh, they were going to forget about him. So I just sit there and say, all right.
Good thing he was a free agent.
It's a fantastic. That was a smart move. That was a smart move. Because I think he's getting featured more. He's getting featured more.
Well,
way more. He might not be here every week, and he don't have to be here.
He's like could be quote unquote legendary, considering like being on the main roster, coming down, helping make these people look good, and then looking good himself in the process, and then showing people why Mustafa Ali had the storylines he did with some people, such as Samoa Joe and a little moment with Jeff Hardy, like especially like the Rumbles and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, not legend. It's it would be established. You know, like established main roster individual. We had you know, I just want to combine all these segments. I meant to do that earlier when I was talking about Roxanne Perez, but Gigi, she has her own segment. She's talking about I might as well just combine all the women's segment. They pretty much were talking about why they should be number one for Tiffany Stratton's NXT Women's Championship.
Because Tiffany Stratton is the least entertaining women's champion that we've had in the past few years. And always taps out.
Wow.
And always runs away.
Wow.
And is a chicken shit champion.
There we go. Oh, you would hate me as a champ. I would just never defend it. You know why I wouldn't defend my title?
Why?
Too much paperwork. And I get tired just like I wrote my name on something the other day and I was winded. And I was very upset that I had to write. That's why we have phones, right? But let's talk about this. We have let's talk about this segment. There was another segment. Trick and Mello game, right? Mello approached Trick and he talks about that win that he had against Dragunov at oh god, there were so many events that happened, but at the last PLE, he talks about the win, but he talks about how it's questionable. It's like I won because you helped me. To which Trick was like, you know, kind of saying almost like, where's this coming from? Like, are you like last week he said, are you blaming me? And Mello's like, no. But then when Mello asked Trick, do you think I can beat Dragunov? He said, he hesitated. He was like, you know, he couldn't think and he couldn't find the words. And then when he said, that's all I need to hear, and he grabbed his belt and he left, that's when Trick goes, of course you can beat him. And that was kind of hard touching. I was like, oh, you know, because, you know, that's his boy. He supports his boy. You know, he's for his boy.
He does, but he's also gotten a taste of Dragunov and knows how he is in the ring and how aggressive and dominant and ruthless he can be.
Yes.
So, and Mello's not like that's not his style in wrestling. So that's why he probably hesitated a bit. Unless he decides to eventually turn on Mello, hit him with the belt in his face, and then put it up in the air, raising it, saying, like, I'm coming after you next for your belt, bitch.
But, well, let me ask. Let's talk about that, right? It's interesting because there's a lot of takes on the whole Mello and Trick stuff, right? Do you, and the guys and you guys in the chat can answer as well, do you feel that one of them had to turn heel on the other. I'll give you the floor first, Wrestling Doll. What do you think?
I feel like it should be like the MJF Adam Cole story, even though they weren't put together as like a makeshift team. I feel like they should just help, like they can still work together and like help each other out, and they don't necessarily have to turn on one another. I mean, those two haven't turned on each other yet. MJF had plenty of chances to turn. Adam Cole had plenty of chances to turn. That hasn't happened yet, so.
I think that it's such an old thing in wrestling, right? Where the guy usually turned on the friend and stuff. You don't necessarily, you don't even have to do that. They can go away a different route, a whole different route. They can just go against each other because Trick won a shot at the title, and I think it would be a fun match. I don't necessarily. I mean, you can do it, sure, whatever.
They could have like a one-off, like. There's been a couple teams that have fought each other as friends, and it's brought them closer. So maybe that could happen with both of them, and it can bring them even closer than they already are.
I think about that tag team of Jensen, and they fought, Jensen Briggs fought. I mean, a whole bunch of.
Yeah, they fought after what happened with the she-devil named Kiana James.
We'll be talking about her later tonight, too. But let's talk about this match. Dijak against Eddy Thorpe. These guys went out there with the time that they had. I did like Eddy having some fire. He was it Eddy or Dijak? Because one of them ran out to the ring. So I did like that because it felt personal. They didn't wait for the other to get in the ring. Dijak starts off with the attacks, but Eddy starts getting momentum. He's starting to throw around Dijak. He hits him with a back suplex and all kinds of moves. He gets his momentum. It stopped after, and I love this move, the hard justice. It's Dijak's move because you get it because it's hard. There was a funny in there. He hits the move, but he doesn't. It should be a finisher, but it's not. Eddy kicks out, and then there's a spot where he's starting to take off his belt, talking about Dijak. I was a little worried. I didn't know what was going on here when he took off the belt, but he took off the belt. He was trying to hit Eddy. Eddy was able to stop him, and later in the match, there's a spot where Dijak pulls in a chair, and Eddy stops him. Eddy wants to hit him with the chair. He doesn't care. He wants to get this over. He wants to give Dijak a piece of his own medicine, but the referee's distracted when he's putting the chair back, gets hit with the belt, and Dijak gets to win. Now, I just want to sit here and say, I'm not big on Eddy. I don't see it with him. I thought he was going to get the win, especially when he had that segment 2 weeks ago where he was in the woods and he was like being one with nature. So I said, oh, he's going to get his win back. But Dijak winning, I was for it. And I was for it because, I was prepared for 50-50 booking. So when they went this route where Dijak, even though he cheated, I was like, yeah, okay, there we go. Because a lot of times we get 50-50 booking. I don't mind it, but it's so overdone that I get tired of it. I just roll my eyes. So seeing this was kind of a breath of fresh air for me. What did you think, Wrestling Doll?
Well, Dijak winning was nice for him because it reestablishes the fact that he is a dominant force of nature to be with. I mean, the man is freaking humongous in all ways you can think of. Height, muscle, all that fun stuff. The match was all right. It did what it needed to do. I'm not going to say I'm the biggest Eddy Thorpe fan there is out there. I do like watching him in the ring. He has decent promo work. And eventually they'll have him feud with someone else and he will get better and better. I don't mind that Dijak won. I just feel like this feud is kind of dragging on too long. And if it doesn't end by
No Mercy
next month, I am going to be so fucking bored as how they kept doing Cody and Brock.
So what you're saying is no adrenaline in your soul.
None in my soul right now. If they don't do something to pump my adrenaline up, the curtains went down and I'm going to go home.
Whoa! I think that's the lyric. That's all I know.
That's the next part of that song, yes.
I want to go to a wrestling show just to join in with the whoa, because they just yell. I enjoy that. Good for.
Yeah, that's the fun. That's the fun.
And that is the fun part. I was walking by a cat and I just said whoa. And I yelled, and I think I've never seen a cat so pissed off at me ever in my life. Like that cat looked
It was
very.
an intern cat, was it?
No, intern cat loves me. I love intern cat. She's the most friendliest cat I've ever seen. Like I do like this. She's adorable. Like I hate my job, and like this cat, and I'm literally supposed to be wiping walls. I'm like, oh snap, it's a cat. Hey cat. I love intern cat is lovely. I'm glad we're gonna get some merch for that. The executive consultant's not in here. We're gonna get some merch. We gotta get an intern cat some merch here. What we talked about, Angel and Humberto, they split a few weeks back, and I was ready to write what in the CW, but it's not really CW at this point, I guess, for me anymore. Before, when they were sleeping in sleeping in the bed and they were crying, I said, what is happening here? But they're bringing in their grandfather, right? They're talking about their grandfather would be disappointed that these two are not working together and they're not being a team. Angel wakes up and he starts bleeding randomly, and he's he's wiping off the blood. Humberto then shows up to the door with his I think he had his shirt, like one of the buttons unbuttoned. I was like, oh, it must be very hot where you're at. Okay. He shows up, and then Angel tells him the dream that he had. He said, I had a dream about grandpa, and he was talking to me. And then he proceeds to show him this scratch that he had. I guess it came from the dream. And then Humberto showed his scratch too. And then they smiled at the matching I almost said matching merch. Thank you, Jeffrey. We saw that intern cat merch. We're gonna start yelling at EC. But they showed a scratch. They talk about reforming Los what was their name? I'm sorry.
Lotarios.
Thank you, because you say it way better. That was fantastic. Thank you. And they were ripping a shirt. So I guess now they're trying to be more serious as a team. And next week they are going to be back. I said this before. I like Humberto. Humberto is great too. But Angel, I remember in the 2019, 2020, I forget when, but it was in that NXT period. It was still black and gold. And he stood out. And I was like, oh, this guy's a single star. But putting him and Humberto together, I think just helped, because he was lost in the shuffle for a period. You need tag teams. And I think Humberto can really lean on Angel although I thought his English was fairly decent. I understood him, more, because my biggest thing was he can't speak English, but it's not as good as or fluid as Angel's. But I thought he did a pretty solid job. When you say, like, when he was speaking English, like I got what he was saying. But my point is, I think them sticking as a tag team is a wise move, and I don't know if it's necessary. I look forward to seeing what happens, but I'm interested in the repackaging of these two.
They're having a repackage like the Street Profits did. They're starting to take this shit a lot more seriously.
Yeah.
So maybe now they can climb up into the contendership for the NXT Tag Team Championships.
Absolutely, they could totally.
Stacks and Tony D are going to drop the belts, because there's no way right now they're going to drop those belts. Not for a good while. Not for maybe a good, I'm going to say 5-6 months.
That's a good run. 5-6 months. Okay. We
don't want to give the men's tag titles the women's tag team title. Curse, God forbid. Defended in 7 and under matches, you're cursed. You get injured. They take the belts away.
We don't want that. We want them to have a nice, lengthy run. And I like what Jeffrey asked, where's Idris and Afino? And that's a damn good question, because I like them too.
First of all, Jeffrey, you meant to say Idris and Nofe and Malik Blade, because
damn it, Jeffrey
separated the names and thought it was two different people.
See, and I read
Idris and Nofe and Malik Blade are. We don't know, because they're not focusing too much on them right now.
Jeffrey, I'm sorry. You have to do this to yourself. You gotta give yourself a -5 points, because you messed me up, and then you messed up the both of them. You split Idris and Afino.
You split Idris and Nofe's name and thought it was two different people.
You just split them up. Like, that was fantastic. I was typing fast. You seem like a fast typer, because look how fast he wrote that. Yeah, I was typing fast. Look at that. That was fast with the laughing emoji.
He probably realized what he wrote, and he was like, "Oh shit."
Jeffrey's fantastic. We like pulling your leg, Jeffrey. Hopefully you don't have a bad leg, because I don't like. I pulled someone's leg one time because I was going for the sharpshooter, and they said out.
Look who's here!
Who's here? It's New H Man. It's the. You know what? I don't want to say New H Man anymore, because you're not new, but we're gonna call you Nice H Man, because you're so pleasant. Not to say the other H Man isn't pleasant, but look at this guy. He said, "Hi there, guys. How was your weekend?" He's asking how my weekend was. It was my birthday weekend. I had a fantastic job. I don't remember none of it, so it was great. We got going All In. How was your weekend on All In? I didn't see the show. I heard CM Punk had 2 matches though that day.
Did he?
Yeah, he fought Samoa Joe and he fought Jack Perry.
Oh yeah, behind the scenes, and now supposedly they're both suspended. This man needs to stop with these youngins. I don't know if they're starting it. I don't know if he's starting it. I don't know. I don't care. It needs to stop.
I made my joke, and I'll go as far as that. We had Joe Coffey against Nathan Frazier. See how elegant that sounded? That sounded good. And this was the second match for the Global Heritage Invitational. I believe this was Block B. I went into this thinking Nathan Frazier. Part of me was thinking Nathan Frazier, but I was like, nah, he don't have to win. He just dropped the championship. I mean, cup.
Heritage Cup.
Thank you. But I thought these guys went out there and they did pretty well. I thought these guys was Joe Coffey. He's a big boy, like not like this big tall guy, but it's something about his build that just I'm interested. I'm just like, this guy just seemed like if I was at a bar, I definitely wouldn't fight this dude. Nathan, he's using his power. He's using his power against Nathan. Nathan's using his speed, which he's known for. Also to mention, Metaphor is out there again. Metaphor is just having a black time of their life. Like, just they're great. There's a sequence where it looked like Nathan's going to get the win, hits a super kick, and then he goes for I think a Phoenix splash or some kind of flippy maneuver. Joe ducks, elbows the hell. No, it was a clothesline. I apologize. He clotheslined the hell out of Nathan Frazier, gets the win. Joe Coffey gets the W. What did you think about this?
I think that spot where Nathan Frazier got stuck in the ropes was terrifying as hell, but hopefully he's fine. But
I'm sure he is.
Joe Coffey is not a bad wrestler.
He's not. Yeah, I agree. He really is.
I'm still a Nathan Frazier fan, but I figured they weren't going to have Nathan Frazier win if he just dropped the cup back to Noam Dar, so Noam Dar can finally have the will and courage to want to wrestle again. Because without that cup, he becomes comatose, does absolutely nothing, and the Metaphor must come for him and do everything they can to bring him back to life, essentially, because he turns into a living cadaver.
When I was
I'm being nice about it. I'm not saying
no. You wrestling doll. You don't have to say anything. You're a fantastic partner. You're doing great. But let me talk about you talk about comatose, and I feel like you don't understand how that can really mess you up. How do I go with this? I was having a very good time in 2016. It was a pretty good year. I was turning 27. I'm still a young lad. I was having a really good time in 2016. Late October, November hit, right? You know what game came out? It was a WWE 2K game. And you know what legend that they featured in that game? Go ahead, think about it. Oh, you don't know? Okay. It was Bill Goldberg. I was having a good time in Bill Goldberg. I became instantly comatose. And then it got worse. You want to know how it got worse? I'll help you. Let me elaborate a little bit more on how things got even worse in 2016 for me. So I'm like, oh, cool. Survivor Series. Brock Lesnar against Goldberg. It got worse, but I said, you know what, Brock? Take this man to the cleaner. Take him on the cleaners on a Sunday. Close the door and never let him come out until Monday. And you know how it got even worse? I know how you guys want to act it. Bill Goldberg won the match. So when you talk about comatose, it's sensitive to me. I was very comatose when he won. It
You said
bothered
that
me.
first about Noam Dar, so that's the only reason why I say it.
Noam Dar is going through something serious. He had withdrawals without that that cup. I understand it. I was having the time of my life. So I'm sitting there saying, when you get comatose, it could be serious. So let's not make light of it. Let's have some sensitivity about it. Let's be mature about this.
I'm just saying he didn't really want to wrestle because he didn't have the thing that was motivating him. That's all. I'm not making light of
that. Jeffrey, 20 points for Wrestling Doll. Let's talk about this Andre Chase thing because now I'm all angry. I feel like there's another Bill Goldberg rant, but I'll save it for next week. I try to split this up.
I feel like JC Jane is going to be the next new mentor because now she's going to start to take Mia Hair under her wing.
I love this. This is great. Listen, Andre Chase is a fraud, like Rey Mysterio, right? Andre Chase, he said that what is he teaching these people? First off, this teacher, he's not even, what kind of teacher is this? He's not even paying attention. Andre Chase tells Andre says, yeah. Andre tells, I mixed that all up. He tells Duke, he says, when he realized what country he's representing, he said, Australia. I didn't know you was Australian. What? Are you not listening? Are you drinking on the job, Andre? What kind of teacher is this?
Does he not hear Duke Hudson's accent?
Fraudulent at its finest, top shelf fraud. Give me a top 5 fraud. I would tell you Andre Chase University. And then I'll add something else and go, So, they're acting with Thea. And you know what? Good on Thea for standing on her, building a backbone, standing 10 or 11 toes. I don't know how many toes this woman got on the ground to sit here and go, I didn't want to be here. I'm not going to the next class. Seeing JC James, thank you for grabbing this young lady, teaching her the ropes of life. Andre Chase, you're a fraud. You pick terrible turtlenecks. I'm really disappointed because I really liked Andre Chase, and now I'm very upset. So, Jeffrey, a negative 58 points for Andre Chase.
Did you see what he wrote in the chat?
20 points for disrespecting Rey Mysterio. Are you kidding me? Wrestling Dog, do you know who's the greatest luchador of all time?
Juventud Guerrero.
Thank you. Someone wearing their listening cap. Unlike you, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, you got to give yourself a negative 40 points because it's and a negative 50 because now I'm sweating and angry. I shouldn't be doing this at 11 at night. Let's finish this off strong.
Hey, you can't do anything to me. I'm too far away from you, Jeffrey. Don't be calling me no snitch. You was going to see it at some point. I figure it's on now.
Jeffrey's let me tell you something. You got to watch out for Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I want you to know we all stick together here, right? So, he just recently, Shay told me, she said, Jeffrey told me on the show that you couldn't say this thing right and said, how could he not say that right? And Jeffrey, I told her the reason she's so tiny on that poster is because of you. So you're getting the blame. You can ask her. Now you have to deal with that. That's your problem. Let's get into this fatal 4 before I yell at Jeffrey, before there's a Jeffrey rant here. George, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what part of the world you live in, but Rey Mysterio is not the great. Watch, you know what's going to happen.
Not get into another rant nor into another debate because picking who the greatest luchador of all time is.
But he's wrong.
Debatable.
He's absolutely wrong. I don't tell him how to wear his sweater. How is he going to tell me who's the greatest cruiserweight? I'll save it for another time, another debate. George Lewis. But we'll get into this main event. It's a fatal 4-way. It's the winner is the number 1 contender for Tiffany Stratton's NXT Women's Championship. We have Gigi Dolin, Roxanne Perez. I just put Kiana. I forgot her whole last name. I was in a rush. Kiana James. There we go. It's James. There's a certain James making me mad these days. It's called Road Dogg Jesse James. But we'll save that for another show. No, he was talking about this. Did you see this article where you talked about he wasn't a fan of SummerSlam? I think it was 2018 where Becky, because that's the match where they inserted Charlotte. and that triple threat for the women's.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I just, I'm sitting there saying, yeah, people cheered because it was Becky's moment, and y'all inserted Charlotte Flair, and there was no reason for that at all. And no disrespect to Charlotte. Charlotte is a fantastic talent. I want to make sure that's clear. I'm not one of them blind people who sit here and go like Charlotte's not, because there's people who say that like loudly. Charlotte's not talented. She's only here for her last name, and I sit here and go, you don't know nothing. But let's move on.
Up before even putting out that was her last name.
Yeah. I mean, her talent is why she stays. There's a lot of people you could think of second, third generation wrestlers, and they don't last. So that whole last name thing, it doesn't even hold truth. Blair, Davenport, we have a fatal 4-way here. These women went out here and they worked hard. They did what they had to do. There was this caterpillar spot. It's like a headlock, and Roxanne is going for like a Boston Crab shot turner. I thought Blair was so smart because a lot of times these people, they will sit there, right?
And take it.
Yeah, no, but she got up and said, oh, hell no, and got up and broke that up immediately.
Listen, after that ordeal she had with Roxanne Perez in that match at the last pay-per-view, she was like, no, not doing that again.
Yep. Nope, not doing that again. She wasn't taking no chances. Who did you got winning this match originally? So Kiana wins. Who did you have winning this match? Okay. All right. Got you.
Dressed like Gigi.
You had
her to win, but I feel like the only reason they put Kiana as the winner is so they could recreate the magic that they had during the main event match that they had a dark match on one of the shows for the Raw or SmackDown.
Really? Oh, Kiana and
Tiffany.
Really? Okay. No, I didn't. I had no idea about that.
The people were for Tiffany in that match, so Kiana has the ability to make anybody look like a face, and I think that's why they're putting her in there.
Kiana is definitely someone too who
Kiana's literally one of those heels that you put next to another heel, and they make the heel automatically look like a face. That's the Austin Theory effect, as I call it.
There was this time when Daniel Bryan was so over. This is 2013, right? And I remember there was a match. It was him and Christian. Christian was a face. Daniel Bryan just turned around and they immediately started booing Christian because he was so over. So that's hilarious when you hear this, the effect of someone who's like, you have two heels. These are two heels in this match, right? And you're like, wow, they're putting two heels in here. But you think Kiana is going to be a bigger heel than Tiffany. Although I think it might be Tiffany. But do you see Kiana being the bigger heel than Tiffany?
Are you kidding? Kiana is nothing but pure evil. Tiffany's just a brat.
This could be an opportunity. I don't know for sure, but this is an opportunity and possibility that they can turn Kiana. They could totally do.
No. I do not want to see Kiana James as a face. She does too good a job as a heel.
Mm-hmm. And now, granted, you don't have to turn. You don't have to turn any of them. You could be
like face-ish in the moment, but with anybody going up against Kiana James, the other person automatically looks like a face, even if it's Tiffany Stratton.
Ooh. All right. Well, that's the match we have. Kiana, she steals it. She hit the what she call her move? I forgot what she isn't though. You could go for.
Isn't it a 401k?
The 401k. There we go. So it's a fantastic name of a move. What do you say, Russell? You could go for Alicia Fox too with the captain. Alicia, yeah, Alicia Fox was fantastic. Was you able to catch any of her stuff? She's fantastic.
So underrated.
Yep. She had one of the best Northern suplexes, honestly, and just someone so talented. Like, and honestly, with Alicia Fox, right? If I could,
many of our future Black talents.
Yeah, she is. She understood the assignment when she was given a character. Like when she was like the out there insane character, she did such a fantastic job. You
would think that was her personality in real life, but she's so chill, as I would see on Total Divas.
I saw recently she was at Booker T's school, Reality of Wrestling, and I forget the girl's name. She's the champion of the. Yes, is it Tony Promise?
No, the first name is Promise.
Oh, her first name. I think it's Promise Braxton or something. But right, we'll just say that. But she was there, and she still looked good. She still looks
She looks fantastic. Are you kidding?
No, she did. No, I always thought she was.
I watch a YouTube channel called Ring the Bell that talks about like women's wrestling and stuff like that, and they had her in for interview and stuff like that. She was amazing.
No, she is fantastic. Matter of fact, I just saw the clip recently with her and Nia Jax. She got in Nia's face, and she threw a bucket or something in her face or a box. It really hit Nia. And Nia like pushed her, and you know she sold it very well. Alicia Fox is fantastic. I'm just throw it out there. Alicia Fox is fantastic. I think that should be
Promise Braxton. That's the name of the girl. I just found the clip online.
What's her name?
Promise Braxton.
Promise Braxton. I remember like when you saying, I was thinking either Tony or because I thought of Tony Braxton's, and I said one of those names. We got in the chat. This woman, the chat went up too quick. The match between Tiffany Stratton and Kiana James is going to be interesting next week. That is next week, right? The Crazy Captain was the best with the popcorn and soda. She did pour soda on herself. I do remember that vaguely. Booker T's school is cool. I'm sorry, I mixed that. But I got love for you. I have to say, wrestling dolls first, ladies first. Yeah, you know what? You're polite. You know, you get 1 point, Charmaine. At the end, Carmelo Hayes. See, George is all about, let's talk about this NXT. He's like our third host. At the end, Carmelo Hayes goes into Shawn Michaels' office, and he was watching Wesley's promo. Yeah, Wesley put this promo out on Instagram, talked about how he's not done with Carmelo, talked about how he beat himself. So it makes it interesting seeing where do we go from here. Do Melo go and pick up? Does him and Wes have a round 2? Or do they go a triple threat between him, Wes, and Dragon? And I think they're going to do something with Wes and Dragon first, because that's the story where he beat Dragon, but he didn't beat him clean. He needed help. So he needs to prove to himself that he can hang with him. So
#1 contenders match, and then winner goes after Carmelo.
There's that too. You know what? I didn't even think that. And you know, when you say that Illinois and Wesley in a match together, sign me up. I'm for that. I didn't even think that. Fantastic job, Wrestling Doll. Fantastic job to you guys in the chat. We're going to call it a show. We went an hour. It's 11:40 here in New York. But we must say, and down there. I wasn't sure if everything
on the coast.
See, I'm terrible at this. I did a guest spot in one of these wrestling podcast thing. And when they said Eastern and Pacific, I had no idea. And I Googled. I said, oh, I'm really an idiot. So, with that, also,
an idiot. I wouldn't say that.
You know, you're very kind. You know, the executive consultant would agree to that, and he's a dick.
The consultant has no soul with people who highly disagree with him in almost everything that he says when it comes to wrestling. He will always be upset with us because we will never call Dominic Mysterio the greatest North American champion ever.
He's not. It's really Wesley. I want to give flowers to Dominic. Dominic has been killing it. I think he does. Don't you mean
Dominic and Rhea have been killing it as the NXT North American champion?
Honestly, who's killing in Judgment Day? Really, it's really. Let's call it Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio, Damian Priest. That's it. I'm sorry.
It is not Finn Balor's fault. They've been giving him the short end of the stick here.
Why is Finn's face in a serious relationship with the Money in the Bank briefcase? Every time I see Finn, he's been getting dominated by the Money in the Bank briefcase. And don't know what's in his...
Priest always comes out trying to help him with that stupid briefcase, and it's getting something going to happen.
God!
I feel like Finn is eventually going to lose control and hit Damian on the head with it.
And he shouldn't, because it's not his fault that every time he tries to... Oh, my God. You know what? My blood pressure. Oh, my God, my blood pressure. Finn Balor's...
Something is going to happen between those two, and I do not look forward to seeing that happen.
You know, and speaking of which, we don't have a graphic, but we're going to do some plugs here. You know, guys, like I always mention, Unpopular Review. Click that subscribe button. Give us a like. All that stuff. Wednesday, tomorrow, they are going to be... Matter of fact, we do got a graphic for that. I just know for the other stuff, we do not have a graphic, and we haven't had a set date yet. Because we have 2 pay-per-views this weekend. Jeez, it's kind of hard being a wrestling fan. They just stack the deck against us. But on Wednesday, hopefully it is up. Please tell me it's up. Is it up?
Yeah.
Okay, no, because my computer is such a delay. Tomorrow, you guys can watch AEW Dynamite. there's it should be an interesting conversation because they're getting ready. They just had All In. Now they're going to go all out. And you know, you got Zeta Silence. He's fantastic. Sometimes you see the Ball Sensation, the executive consultant, on there. You know, he's there yelling about things. I don't know if we're gonna have one this Thursday, but if we do, you will know. We sometimes review Impact. George, not George. I'm sorry, because I don't know if you watch Impact, but Jeffrey, when's Impact 1000? Because they're hyping it up. I'm actually interested in it because they're bringing back legends. Awesome Khan was one of my favorite knockouts, and I'm interested in checking that out. But maybe this Thursday we'll be doing an Impact review show. I know half the time, or most of the time, we see Jeffrey in the chat, so shout out to Jeffrey. Also, some other plugs. You know, the challenge that comes on at 11. It is with the fantastic Shay Sawyer and the extremely rude Mike Knox. They go on the air right after 11. Check them out. These guys are lovely. They know what they're talking about on these shows. And Wrestling Doll. I mean, you know, we got to plug your channel. You got something going on. You have a YouTube, and your channel keeps growing. Talk about your channel.
Well, as I always say on this channel, and I will continue to keep saying this on this channel because I can, I have my own YouTube channel, The Unofficial Camera Woman, where I go and film independent wrestling matches throughout the state of Florida. I will be going to a couple shows next weekend, so I'm looking forward to those. Right now, 874 subscribers. It's still growing.
Whoa!
And I do have some videos out that I will be putting out if I get the permission from the people in charge of the company. Just have to reach out to them and ask because I don't want to get in any trouble.
We don't want that. We don't want no trouble for the Wrestling Doll. Please subscribe to that if you already haven't.
And it's not about people who like wrestling.
It's about people who like
and
wrestling.
You can see people that have been on NXT, on WWE, on AEW, on Impact, on NWA. All those companies.
They had a pay-per-view recently. They had a 2-day pay-per-view.
Yeah, they did. I got to catch some of it on YouTube because I have not paid my $40 for the 2-night package.
Oh, it's on YouTube?
No, they have
like clips? Okay.
Matches. They had a pre-show and then they put out 3 matches from night 2 less than 5 hours ago.
Oh, okay. No, because they used to be on YouTube. So that's why I was like, oh, they got, because I would check it out. Check that out.
They have it on Fight TV, at least the ones you have to pay for.
And this Sunday we should have an episode. We missed last week. We took some time away and whatnot. But this week should be great. So last week I prepared to say what's going on with Finn, but we took off. This week we're probably going to be reviewing because we have what's on Saturday. I almost said payout.
Payback.
Oh my god. Payback is out there. So we'll probably give a review on there. We talk about wrestling.
We may have some predictions coming up for it.
We do. We don't have a graphic right now, but it hasn't been stated yet.
And if it does happen, we might do in honor of the memory of Wyndham.
Yes.
Top 5 of his matches. Do any matches with the tag teams and or factions included in that? Or is it just plainly Bray?
No, I think anything that involves Bray. I mean, I think all of that is on the table because I feel, for me, when I think about wrestling matches, if I was to talk best Bray match,
Shield versus Fly Family,
Elimination Chamber 2014, I thought that match was fantastic. That match, I remember being at a bar. Why not? We could all talk about a favorite Bray thing. I know that they did a show and they did a fantastic job. I give Mike a lot of help, but that's the kind of guy I am. But I thought that match was great. I mean, you had these 6 new guys on the brand, right? And these guys went out there and just killed it. I remember being at a bar watching this match and just being I felt like anything else, and I forget everything else on that card, but that match was just such a banger. Like I feel like I gotta watch it this week now. They all of them delivered. I thought that was honestly his best. Singles wise, I would have to really sit there and think about it. But the 6-man stuff was just fantastic, and I think what made me a fan of it is that they were bringing back those kind of matches, those 6-man tags. Like you had an actual 3-person team, and I just thought they did a great job. I could keep saying that all day. Like they just did a fantastic job. Wyatt versus the Brothers of Destruction at Survivor Series. I remember that match, 2015. I forget if that was his 25th anniversary or something like that for Undertaker. I do remember that match. I'm trying to think, was it the original Wise that he fought, or was it? I think it was Bray, Luke, and Braun. Because I think Eric was still out. Matter of fact, another match that they had. I'm sorry, just because we're talking about matches, it was the Y family. Remember, they beat ECW. They beat Bully, Devon, Rhino, and Tommy Dreamer. I think it was like a table match or something like that. So there's some really good stuff out there. I mean, you guys can write in the chat what's your favorite Bray thing, but that's really the show. We want to say thank you guys for joining us again on a Tuesday, like how you always do. We'll be back again next Tuesday to talk more NXT. You want to hit the outro because my thing is acting so stupid. You want to take the outro, madam? Matter of fact, no, I got it. I got it. Russell Dog, why don't you say goodbye to the lovely people? Bye, folks. Live, and if you're watching the replay, give it a like still. Join us for the next live, and we say, be safe, folks.